Hey guys, Ken here. So got some feedback on the previous video, the 5 weeks out one where I went over the speed training for deadlift. A little bit of feedback, basically just saying, maybe instead of just going lift, 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 throw in some more footage of setting up and things like that. A little bit harder since I'm filming it literally by myself in the warehouse. So hopefully this turned out okay. Leave a comment below if you like it. If not, put in some suggestions and let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. As always, like I keep saying, we're going to keep putting footage out. I've got some big stuff planned for this year too. So the quality of these videos is definitely going to get better. We're going to do the training videos and then slowly moving into more educational videos as well. So basically filming this the day after this training session. I was planning on filming this little intro last night, but ran out of time. We were taking the kids out for dinner, so ran out of time excuse me, before that. So basically just went over what the session was last night. It was speed training for press. So it was push press up the rack on the axle versus bands, and then some tricep and upper back accessories. It was prone dumbbells, prone dumbbell rows, and then just push downs and then lat pull. And then with this contest now being roughly 4 weeks out, haven't really trained too much farmer's walk lately, so we figured better add some of that in. So threw some of that in at the end. Nothing crazy, just up to 225 for speed runs, 30 feet a piece, just trying to get that movement going, trying to get the groove again a little bit. So without further ado, here's a session, a little bit, like I said, different format, voiceover as well, so hopefully you enjoy it. Okay, so a big thing that I've been really trying to focus on before training is trying to ensure that I'm as loose as possible, but then also that the muscles are activated before I actually start my main work. So you saw me there with the hypervolt, trying to get biceps and lats loosened off a little bit before going into this diesel workout from the Bulletproof Your Shoulders video. So I'll link that in the description. Then I literally, once all of my warm-up stuff's done, I start with an empty bar. Always an empty bar, and then because I have some pretty wicked elbow tendonitis in both arms right now, I put my sleeves on straight from the get-go. I don't really care that they support. They're going to have the support of the top weight anyway. So, like I said, it's a 33-pound axle, then we did the 83-pound strict, then I added in the bands. So these bands are actually, they're from Elite FTS. They are monster mini bands, and we measured the tension on these. We're looking, or for me personally, I'm looking around 70 pounds at the top. So now we've got 83 bar, then the 70, so we're looking at about 153 roughly, call it 150 at the top here. So I get into my push press pretty quickly. That way I'm driving my my motor pattern. Same with putting the belt on. If it's going to support me and I'm getting closer to a show or heavier weights, I want to really drive all the bracing patterns and all that stuff straight out the gate. So here's 183. I actually did a set before this of 163. And once we get up to the top weight, I try and break my jumps down a little bit. So with 183, I was a little bit all over the place, honestly, or a lot all over the place. But overall, it still moved pretty well. And I knew if I braced harder coming into my top sets, which is set 1 of the top weight, then I'd be just fine. And it wasn't terrible. Yeah, it was a little bit slow at the top. We're looking about 283 at the top with the bands here. So after that very first rep, I just knew that if I had to brace harder because I wasn't tight enough. And then, like you saw in the second rep there, as soon as I braced harder, that speed went straight up. So here we are, halfway through the sets almost, exactly halfway through. Getting a little bit tired. The 1 minute rest catches up pretty quickly with this speed stuff, but still moving really well. And then here's the last set for the day. I'm actually really pleased with how pressing is right now. Like the fact that I'm being able to develop so much power against the bands, I'm really pleased with. So I'm excited for the contest day. Now we're getting to something I've not actually done before. Prone dumbbell rows. It felt pretty good, honestly. Just something different. The 85 pound was definitely a challenge. I didn't think it would be as much of a challenge, so I did a couple of sets here for the working sets. Just there were sets of 8 to 10, and then tricep push downs. Really nothing fancy. I used the thick bar simply because it takes a little bit of pressure off my elbows, so it makes them feel a little bit better compared to what a different type of bar would give me. And then it's just all bodybuilding stuff. There's nothing really fancy. This was, I think this, from what I remember, was 4 sets of 15 with 90 seconds rest. So conservative on the weight, but overall felt really good. Nice pump. I'm excited for this show. Honestly, I feel pretty good physically, apart from little bits. So there you just saw me stretching forearms a little bit before I get into farmers. I try and do that because I have this hand issue. And then with the farmers, if you see, I've gotten really wide at the back and really narrow at the front. Basically, I figured out if I jam my hands right to the back, it takes out the grip issue. Problem is, when I jam them right to the back, they have a tendency to lock together at the back, so I have to really force them at the front. But here's the last set of 225. Moved well, so I'm happy.